to. This is my second time filming this video because the first time I filmed it in my bathroom and the lighting was horrible. It was going from like green to blue to God knows what colors. So it's been a bit gloomy here, but hopefully the lighting stays decent. What's up guys? My name is Eleonora and welcome back to my channel. So I have already gone into a little bit about the cleaner products that I have switched to during this fertility journey. In case you missed that video, I will link it up here. So not long ago, I did a huge purge on my makeup. I had so much makeup that I wasn't using anymore that was probably expired, and that wasn't necessarily on the cleaner side. I personally love purging. I am the opposite of a hoarder. I love to throw things away. It feels, releasing. So when I was switching my makeup out, when I was trying to decide what kind of cleaner makeup do I want to purchase, for me, it was really about having those better options. When I first started this cleaner, non-toxic product journey, I did go crazy over the ingredients. I tried to analyze every single ingredient and it just made me crazy. Going down that rabbit hole and really starting to believe that everything and anything is out there to poison you. And while there are a lot of things that are really bad for your health and might be trying to poison you a little bit, I didn't want to obsess over it. I have naturally a very obsessive personality, so I couldn't do that. Learn every single ingredient, analyze every single ingredient. It just wasn't good for my mental health. I'm not a person that can really handle that. At the end of the day, the stress from overanalyzing every single ingredient can be a lot worse than the product themselves. So, plus everybody has different standards of what clean even means. There's certain ingredients that people think are okay. There's other ingredients that people think are just off limits completely. And at the end of the day, it's just whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever works for you, I think is the best thing to do. There is actually an app that a friend had recommended to me, which I think is a great resource if you're just getting into it. It's called the Yuka app. It's YUKA. And what that does is you can just scan a product and it gives you the ingredient breakdown and then some actual information about those ingredients and why it might be harmful. I know EWG was a popular resource for a while, but I've recently heard that there's brands that kind of buy out their ratings, and that's definitely not ethical, and it's kind of hard to trust once you hear things like that. But the app is a great option. I like that it gives you just a bit of information on different ingredients that a product that you scan has, and then you can make your decision from there. Okay, so I already did my skincare, and I put this jade roller, I keep it in my freezer. I'm feeling a little puffy today, so I'm just going to roll out my skin. Feels so refreshing. And it really wakes you up. To really get under the eyes, because it's the eyes that like to get nice and puffy. Okay, next is my foundation. Now, before I switched to a cleaner option, I was using Fenty because that seemed to be the only color that matched me. It was very difficult for me to find my color match for some reason. Either it made me super pale or it made me super yellow. I can never find my actual color. And I think it's amazing that I was able to find this color from Ilia because I feel like it was made for me. This also is much more lighter than the foundations that I've been using previously. It doesn't cake on, it doesn't, get cakey and separate during the day. So I was actually really impressed that this is like a cleaner option, but it stays on really well. I live in Florida. It gets very hot and humid. Not a fan of it. So makeup staying and lasting all day is super important. So this is the Ilia True Skin Serum Foundation, and it's in the color SF.5 Sable. I just like to apply it. And then I go in with the True Skin Serum Concealer in SC.25 Mallow, just for the under eyes. And I just use a beauty blender to blend that in. Look at that color match. I love this foundation. I honestly wasn't a makeup everyday girl until I found this foundation because it's just so light. It blends in so well. Okay, then I just need need a little bit of color on my cheeks. So I use the Kosas, the color Waves, the Sun Show. So happy I got this color because I was super close to getting the darker one, thinking that this wasn't going to be dark enough for me. I don't know if you can see that color there, but I'm really glad that I got this one because it's just perfect. Any darker and it would be a bit orange. So I just go right under my cheekbone. Just a little bit. And then I just blend it in a little bit. Hopefully that's even. Okay, next is mascara. So I use the Ilia Limitless Lash Mascara. So this one I believe is just for lengthening. They do have another one for volume, but I find that kind of clumps up a little too much for me. This is in the color After Midnight, and I'm pretty sure that this is the only color that they offer, but don't quote me on that. So I really go ham when I put on mascara. Sometimes my eyelid gets a little bit of mascara on it, but once my eyelash is dry, I just clean it up. But I like to really open them up and brighten them out. Okay, now brows. Brows probably take me the longest in the morning because I don't know if you can see in the camera, but I have microblading that is fading, and it is fading very unevenly, so I do have to draw them in to make them look good for me. So just want to brush them out. And for a while I was using just this, the Brow Pop from Kosas as well, and this is the color Brown Black. So I originally had dark brown, but it was a little too red for either my skin tone or my eyebrows. I'm not really sure, but this one's so much better. I like my brows nice and dark. I know not everyone does. So I'm just gonna use this little side mirror over here because this needs to be very intricate. And the cool thing about this pencil, you really don't need a heavy hand. The color just glides right on. So if anything, you should use your lightest hand as possible. Otherwise it can be very harsh lines. So for a while I was using this to outline and then color in. So once I have a little bit of an outline, I like to just fluff it up and see what's happening with it. Kind of blends in the color, so there's no harsh lines. And I go back in. They say that your brows are sisters, not twins. I don't even think mine are related. The microblading fading really has kind of messed up the shape, and I'm trying to figure out how thick or thin I want them to be to make them even. I'm still kind of in that growing process. I think that's good. Let's see, close up. Okay, and then just to make them a little extra dark, a little bit of extra color and fluff them up a little bit, I use the Kosas Air Brow, which is also in Brown Black. Like I said, I really like to have them nice and dark. Okay, and last but not least is the lips. So the lips, like lipstick in general, is very difficult for me to find. My lips, I try to get as clean as possible because you can possibly ingest it. You know, anytime you're drinking water or eating, you can ingest your lipstick. So I tried to focus on like really cleaner option for that, but I don't like the smell of lipstick either. So it's hard to find a cleaner option and then a lipstick that actually stays on well and just does the job, and finding that color. There's a lot of factors that go into that for me, but the products that I'm currently using, it doesn't last all day, but I'm fine with it. I like the ingredients of it. I like just a little bit of color in my lip. I'm not really huge on having a dramatic, statement lip anyway. But so for the liner, I use the Lawless Forget the Filler Definer Liner. And this is in Pink Sand. So for the lips, I like to overdraw them just a teensy bit. So that's the liner, and then I go in with the Kosas, I believe this is called the Wet Stick, something like Wet Stick Lipstick. So it's very sheer, it's a bit hydrating, which I love, but the color doesn't necessarily last all day. But this is the color Baby Rose, and this is just a nice pink. Very subtle, just a pop of color. And then I'm gonna go in and clean my eyelids from my mascara. And that's it. That's my 5-minute makeup routine in the morning. I am no makeup guru by any means. I just like to have a little bit of something to feel put together and get out the door. Literally only takes me 5 minutes. Eyebrows probably take me the longest, but that's just because I need them to be perfection. But if you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up. I hope that you got something out of it, and I will see you in the next one.